Oh, this car is so nice. What the? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Out doing some test hits again today in the car. Conditions were slightly less than ideal, but we also got something broken. Really crazy actually testing the car at the very same location that I've been testing at the last couple of days, same road and everything. DA is a little bit different today because it's warmer. It's been a little damp and rainy, so it's quite humid. So DA is not that great, but it's weird how draggy is giving me a different elevation. We were at less than 1,000 feet of elevation. I think now it's showing 1160, and that's at the same location, so over 200 feet of elevation change. It's a little weird, and not only that, the slope has changed. So it's giving me a valid, invalid run on like every other run or every other pull that I make. It's super weird. It's literally the same stretch of road. I pull out of the same driveway, do a quick little burnout, and I start from like the same exact location because there are some potholes and divots and things, so I go just beyond those and take off. So it's the same spot every time, so it's weird. It's giving me different elevations and giving me valid one run and then invalid the next. I love third gear in this car. Like I said, conditions aren't all that great. It's been a little bit damp here, so the roads are seemingly dry, but there's just a little bit of moisture in the asphalt, and it's been cool as well. So it takes a little bit of time to get the tires warmed up. So you saw in a couple of those runs, you get the tire chirp at the beginning, but I spun quite a ways through first gear in that first pull, and short shifted quite a bit early to stop the spinning, and then the second one spun quite a ways as well. Actually gripped pretty well and then broke loose. So I actually had a pretty decent 60 foot time, but my 0 to 60 time suffered, being, over 5 seconds, so like 5.09 or something like that. But yeah, these were my first two 1/8 mile pulls, which were pretty fun to do actually. So we were up, I think just over 83 mile per hour or something like that in the 1/8 mile. 8.63 seconds, something like that, again with quite a bit of spinning in late first gear. So pretty cool, pretty fun to do. I think we got to get out and do more of those. I'm not sure if I've mentioned in the past or not, but I used to work for PPG, the paint and coatings company. I still have a few friends, but one in particular that him and his wife, we've had for Thanksgiving for several years now, brought me a little care package for the visit. A couple of floor coating kits, garage floor coat kits. So that's gonna be awesome. We'll get this thing all cleaned up and have a showroom floor finish in here sooner or later. It's been something I've wanted to do and something he actually mentioned to me last Thanksgiving and brought the product up this Thanksgiving. So that's gonna be awesome. Got some Rust-Oleum flakes to throw down too. I don't usually like these, but give the floor a little bit of texture, kind of a final finish look. Apparently it's light gray. We got to read up on some instructions how to actually do it, but we'll get the floor prepped here and everything cleaned out, and we'll try it out. I think it'll be pretty awesome. Make it a lot easier to clean up and whatnot. So cool. What I really want to do, obviously, or be able to do, is launch harder in this car, and unfortunately, we're sort of limited. We obviously can't brake boost. We're naturally aspirated, so there's no brake boosting involved with this vehicle, but power braking, I guess I'm call it power braking, holding the brake and the gas pedal, but we're limited. The computer on this car limits us to like a 1500 RPM rev, which is barely above idle. So that makes it a little bit difficult to get a good hard launch. What I've been able to do is hold the brake and kind of push the throttle really fast and that makes the RPM jump up and almost want to spin the tires before it cuts power. So trying to get that timing right to where it can launch at maybe 2,000 RPM before it breaks the tires loose, and also before it cuts power. So that's kind of been the challenge. When I've been able to do it, it really spins the tires, as soon as I let off the brake. So we're still not getting super good grip when we're doing really hard launches, but I do like these Firestone Firehawk Indy 500s. So far, so good. So we just got to mess around with that a little bit. But another thing, I think obviously most people are aware now of the little white button here. It's like the additional traction control, chassis control kind of thing. You hold it for several seconds and it takes all of the, controls away, all in quotation marks. But there's this other little black button here. And as far as I know, that gets depressed when you have your foot off the brake. When you have the brake depressed, it's telling the car that your brake is pushed, and that's what's making the car cut power when you're trying to do like a power brake or a brake stand and spin your tires. So if we can find a way to hold that button in, it'll trick the car, make it feel like you do not have your foot on the brake. Maybe it'll allow us to push the gas pedal at full power. So what do we do? What do we do? I'm sure that's what activates your brake lights also. So it's not like you want to pull it out of there, because there is a nut that holds it in place. So we could potentially pull it out and just use our thumb to keep it depressed in order to do a brake stand. But then if you're holding it in, or even if you taped it in, then your rear brake lights wouldn't work. They would just always stay off. So it's not like something you want to change permanently, but it would be nice. Oh, I got to test it. We got to test it. I don't know if I'll just reach under there and hold it and see if we can do a brake stand or not. I guess that'll tell us. But then figuring out what we can do to bypass that, or if we could tap into the wires and then install a switch in line to where we could do it. Maybe we just need to get line locks. Now, I mentioned that after doing these pulls, I did break something. Well, I don't mean to I guess it wasn't technically, well, maybe it was clickbait. We'll see what the title of this video is, but I did break something, but it wasn't related to doing pulls. And I actually didn't break it myself. I lifted the hood, and my hood shock, my little strut here, was broken or unthreaded somehow from the head and was just laying in there. So I'm going to take this off and tighten everything up and just see what the heck happened. I fixed it in the parking lot, but you can see there's a problem. So there's the problem. I'm just going to thread these back on firmly. All fixed. Easy repair, but I'm not a huge fan of these particular hood struts. For some reason, I think I have to find an alternative. They feel a little bit cheap to me. And again, if you're watching or you've been following along, we installed these upside down because they're just not constructed how the this head is angled back, rather than this one being angled like it is in the factory struts. So I may end up replacing these, but again, they're like 15 bucks, so it wasn't that much of a worry. All right, so let's go ahead and test this brake button theory. So I'm actually going to get out of the car here, kneel down, depress the brake with my hand, which you'll see right here, and then with my finger, push and release that little black button several times to see if there's anything changing in the brake lights. And as you can see, nothing happens. So I'm starting to wonder now what actually that thing does. So now we're going to test the brake stand part of it. I have traction control off, and I'm just leaning forward, pressing the little black button with my finger, flooring it, and you can see the car is still cutting power. this point, I'm just holding the brake and pressing the gas to see how far it will let me rev. Only about 1600 RPM. So that still wouldn't be a very aggressive launch. So now at this point, what I've decided to do is lean over and press that little white button, which is going to completely turn traction control off, and see if that makes a difference. And still nothing. So now at this point, I'm actually at a little bit of a loss. I'm not exactly sure what that little black button underneath the brake pedal does. I know we've all seen videos of the Q50s, people doing brake stands in the Q50s. I even had a guy tell me that he leans over and holds that little black button in while he does one, and really gets him to smoke up at stoplights or whatever the case may be. And it's not happening. I just tried it here, and it doesn't work. So I'm not sure exactly what they're doing, or if every car is a little bit different, but you would assume that that little black button being depressed by the brake pedal itself and being released as you push the brake pedal, that it would have something to do with the brakes. I mean, it seems like an obvious choice to have it be the brake light kind of actuator switch, but that's not the case either. So like I said, I'm at a little bit of a loss, and if you guys happen to know exactly what it does, or what these guys are doing to do a dirty, smoky brake stand, that would be helpful to leave in the comments below for both myself and also anybody watching this video. I look forward to your guys' feedback and digging into this topic a little bit further, because I'm sure there are a lot of people interested, because who doesn't love a dirty burnout? Depending on when this video is posted, I think we're going live with Jalisco's Carbon Fiber on Instagram in the coming weekend, and I know there's some giveaways planned for that, so you guys want to stay tuned and make sure you check us out on Instagram at Speed Culture Studios and also at Jalisco's_Carbon Fiber. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.